Hey guys, it's Annie with Chica's Kitchen. Today I'm gonna bring you along as I make my pinto beans. I'm gonna make a big pot, not for dinner today or anything, but to store. I always like to make a huge pot of beans and then store them in containers, separate containers for when I need some beans or I want some beans. Then I have them already made. But anyway, stay tuned. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, everyone, I'm back here. I have a pot of beans that I had soaked overnight. Believe it or not, this was filled up to here with water, like 2 inches or inch and a half above. But they've absorbed most of the water, as you can see, and they're a little bit bloated, kind of like me. Anyway, you see those little suds in there floating around? I don't know if you can see that. Those are the sugars that the beans contain that they have released. That is what causes people to get gas when they eat beans. Those sugars are called oligosaccharides or oligosaccharides. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Doesn't matter. The fact is your body can't digest those sugars. You all ever heard of saccharin? Well, saccharides. Is the sugar, and it's indigestible. So your body gets rid of it through by gas. It causes gas and a lot of discomfort too, as it's passing. So I'm going to show you a way to eliminate about 95% of it. And I've done the research. I'm not an expert by any means on beans. But I did do some research enough to where we should be able to eat these beans now without any discomfort afterwards. Okay, so, and let me tell you something. That thing that's called Beano that most people run out and get when they're going to eat beans or any type of gassy kind of foods. What Beano does is it's a binder, and it'll bind around the oligosaccharides so that your body can digest it. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to digest anything my body rejects naturally. I want to get rid of as much of that as possible, that I possibly can on my own. So let's go ahead and go on with the process, and then get rid of some of these oligosaccharides or oligosaccharides, whatever you want to be called. You're out of here. I'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to come back to show you something. I want to explain the process. What I'm going to do is, I've already rinsed them out again. This is a piece of hull. You can get rid of those. What I'm going to do is, here's a split. I don't like split beans. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Just don't like it. I'm going to go ahead and boil these. Now that I've gotten rid of some of the oligosaccharides, it's not all of it. I mean, that helps when you soak it overnight. It gets rid of a lot of it, but not all of it. So what I'm going to do is boil it for 10 minutes. Once this comes to a rolling boil, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and then I'll rinse it out. Rinse them out real well in a colander. And then I'll fill it back up, and I'll bring it to a boil again, and I'll repeat that process 3 times. That should pretty much almost guarantee most of the oligosaccharides are out or have been released by the beans. That's how you get rid of the sugars that cause the gas when you eat beans. Just a tip, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that process 3 times. I'm going to bring this to a boil, rinse it out, bring it to a boil again, rinse it out, bring it to a boil again, rinse it out, and then I'll bring you back when I'm ready to actually cook my beans, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, my beans have come to a boil, so now I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, I'll let that boil for 10 minutes. I'll rinse it out, add some more water, and boil it again. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the ingredients that I'm going to incorporate or add into the beans for flavor. Alright, when you boil your beans, you don't add any salt, nothing, no turkey meat, no smoked meat, no, if you eat pork, no ham, none of that. You let it cook by itself until they are done, and then you add your flavors. Because if you add salt or anything that contains salt, you're going to come out with a hard shell. Okay, the skin is going to be tough. They're going to take longer to cook. Alright? So you don't want to add anything until your beans are done. And just plain water. That's all you need. And it'll create its own little thickness as sauce. So you have to worry about any of that. Okay, so I usually don't have to add any kind of cornstarch or flour is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, this is what I'm going to bring together, to saute together, to add to the beans once they're done. And I'm going to prepare that now so that it's ready when the beans are ready. And I can just throw it right in there. Okay, so we have here some minced garlic, sofrito, of course, adobo, oregano, onion, garlic, bay leaf. I also need some basil. I'm going to add some basil, some diced green peppers and julienne sliced red peppers and onions. I mean, they don't have to be sliced that way. You can omit this if you don't like peppers or onions. Omit whatever you don't like, okay? But this is the way I do it, Puerto Rican style. We're going to need, since it's a big pot, we're going to need 2 packets of sazon con culantro y achote. Alright? 2 potatoes. This will also bring thickness to the sauce of the beans. You're going to peel these and dice them up into little squares. Or you can make them into big chunks, however you like your potatoes. But they get done a lot quicker when you kind of dice them into like good sized squares, you know. And then you're going to need a can of tomato sauce. This one happens to have basil, garlic, and oregano. I love it. I love this. And then we have some pimento stuffed olives, manzanilla. Then we have a can of diced tomatoes. And this one is in tomato juice. It does not have the green chilies. And then I like to add a little bit of steak sauce because it has a little bit of vinegar and it's just good all the way around. Gives it a little bit of kick and flavor. Alright, so I'm going to get started over here. I'm going to set you guys up and we're going to go ahead and saute all this together. I'll show you how I bring it together. Everything except the potatoes. The potatoes we will not saute. Those are to be cut and then boiled in with the beans once they're done. Okay? Alright, be right back. Another thing I have going on back here, I have got a lot going on. I put the beans on this side so that I can show you how I saute my ingredients for the beans. But I've got some smoked turkey tails boiling in there to add to the beans once they're done. You don't add anything of salt with salt or anything at all when you make your beans, okay? So, let's get started. I've got my heat on to 4, about 5, okay? Which is medium. The first thing we're gonna do, I forgot to show you the achote, annatto seed oil. Yeah, that's what we're gonna use as an oil, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and pour that in there. About a cooking spoon. Fill up a cooking spoon, and you got it. I'm used to doing it by eye anymore. Okay. And I do like to add a little bit of olive oil. That's just my preference. You don't have to do that. Just a little dab will do you. Alright. Next up we have, oh God, I smell that achote already. Isn't that something? It's terrible, especially when you're hungry. Oh, I don't want to use this one because that'll stain the achote. Make sure you don't use any kind of wooden spoons when you use when you're cooking with achote and stuff, because that will stain. Alright, so we've got our oils heating up there. We'll go ahead and lower this to a 4. Then we're going to put in about a cooking spoon. I'm going to put 2 cooking spoons full of sofrito. Thank goodness I have some more that takes this whole jar in the refrigerator, huh? I'll have to make a video on how I make my sofrito for YouTube. I have one, look at all that goodness. See that? I have one already on my Facebook, Chica's Kitchen page, but I don't have it on YouTube yet because I just started it. Alright, so we got that going on. I'm going to add a spoon, nice heaping spoon full of garlic, minced garlic. If you have fresh garlic and you feel like doing that, by all means, max that out. Your kitchen, get creative, do it as you like. You and your family, that is. You got to include them too. I know back in my day, I'll tell you what, parents didn't play. You ate what was cooked. You didn't get no extra special. You didn't get no $5 go to McDonald's to get, well, I don't know if $5 even gets you anywhere with McDonald's anymore. You didn't, oh, Valley's Dollar Menu. You didn't get that. You ate what was cooked or you went to bed hungry. No substitutions whatsoever. So, you know, the good thing about that is that you learn how to acquire, you know, taste for certain things. Okay, there's my timer on the beans. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out and add some more water and bring it to another boil. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got fresh water in there. Did you all see the white suds that was on top of the pot? Well, that's the oligosaccharides. That's what you need to boil out of these little puppies. Okay? So this is our second run on that. I'm going to do that 3 times. Alright, back to my sauteing. Alright. And next we're going to go ahead and add our diced tomatoes. There's no real order in which you do this, except that you want what needs to be stir-fried and cooked real well in the pan first. So the sofrito is in there, so it's cooking. It has cooked. I'll put in my tomatoes, my diced tomatoes and tomato sauce. Give that a good little stir. I'll tell you what, it smells absolutely divine in here. God, it makes you so hungry. I've got the smoked turkey tails back there giving a little whiff in the air. I'm making, what am I making for dinner? I can't even remember. I'm looking right at the ingredients. Oh. I'm going to make some bottom round Philly cheesesteaks. Sandwiches with some fries and baked fries. And that'll be it. I'm going to make it on, I was thinking about making a fresh loaf of bread to bake it on. But it's already getting late in the day, so I may just make it on hamburger buns that I have in there, which I did not make. Okay, so now I'm going to do my peppers, onions, turn that in there. Okay. Yeah, I freeze my stuff, so yeah, seeds. Seeds from a pepper. I need to stop singing. I really do. Y'all don't have to tell me, I know. Okay. So we want to go ahead and add in our bay leaves so they can go ahead and start releasing their flavors in here. Like I said, usually I only use one, but because it is a big pot of beans. There I go singing again. Help me, somebody. Lord, these people do not need to hear me sing. And again, these are my seasonings. The only thing you would need to make it Puerto Rican style, seriously, is the sofrito, the achote oil, and the adobo, you know, and of course the sazon. Anything else, you know, this oregano and basil and all that, if you don't like it, don't put it in there. Now I'm going to sprinkle in my basil, about a tablespoon of that, or half a tablespoon of that. Same thing with the onion powder. Y'all can see what I'm pouring in there, or sprinkling in there. Garlic powder, just a few shakes. This is a big pot of beans, remember. Oregano. I like oregano. As you can see, one thing that I did not show you all that I do want to add is turmeric and cumin. Comino. Gives a nice flavor. Okay, if you want to add salt and pepper, go ahead. I think everything else has so much salt already. I don't particularly care to add any. But you all go right ahead. I'm going to stir this up. Oh Lord, these smells are so inviting. Okay, let me go ahead and get this up to a high so it'll boil. Okay, and then we're going to sprinkle our adobo. Sprinkle all the way around. Then we're going to add our 2 packets of sazon, of achote. Con culantro y achote. Alright, there's that red goodness. The second red goodness. First one being the achote oil. As far as Puerto Rican spices goes. Okay. Yeah, so I brought my basil plant in and I've used up all the leaves already, so I don't have any fresh. I had to go with ground. This is still good. But I love my little basil tree. I brought it in a little bit too late, but I had to chop it all off, winterize it, so it'll bloom a lot more next year. Or next season, I should say. Whenever it decides to come up again. There's my can of tomato sauce. Alright. I like those chunks of tomatoes. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add some steak sauce. About a cookie spoonful. And something that I always add to my sauces. You'll get to know that about me. I'm going to add 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar. Doesn't matter if it's light or dark. Just add it because it reduces the acidity levels, the acid levels in your sauces, in your food. So I usually do 1/8 of a cup of dark brown. Or light brown, whatever you have is fine. And there you have it, 1/8 of a cup, right in there. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and throw in our olives. So they could get some of this good seasoning too. And not be so vinegary. We're going to lower this to a low. And just get, just like that, olives. Throw them in there. That's it. And you have it. There you have it, folks. There's the sauce. If you like your beans spicy, add your hot chilies or whatever you want. Or your jalapenos, whatever. I don't do any of that. This is my style. Oh my God, it smells so good in here. I just want to eat that. I'm hungry. I have to get something to eat before I dive my nose into this stuff. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cover this and let it simmer in the back. I'm going to go ahead and complete the process to the beans. Look, you see all that white stuff? See all that? That's the oligosaccharides or oligosaccharides. That's it. It's not as much as it was the first time. The first time I had like about an inch foam of the stuff. That's what gives you gas. So that's what you want to get rid of. So it's about coming to a boil. I'll go ahead and rinse it out again and wipe down the pot before I fill it back up again with water and put the beans back in. Bring it to boil one more time. Rinse it. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to cook the beans. Okay, timer went off after 10 minutes for the second round. I just wanted to show you all. See, there's not that much left. So one more time should do it, and then we get to cooking. Be right back. Okay, it's been an hour, and so you see my beans are done. They're nice and soft and tender. So now what I'm going to do, rinse this out, pour in one more batch of water, and then not too much though, about half an inch above the beans, and then put in my spices. Let me go ahead and do that. I've got my smoked tails, turkey smoked tails, or smoked turkey tails in the other pot. Okay, and there you have it. We have eliminated about 95% of the oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides. Alright, and now what we're going to do, is you see that? Smoked turkey tails, the little juices. Yeah, that goes right in there. I'm going to season our beans now. We're almost home. Oh yeah. Go ahead and pour all this good stuff that we sauteed earlier in here. Just swish it around. And remember, the beans are already cooked. So all I'm doing now is seasoning them. These smoked turkey tails. They're about falling apart. I got some good meat on it. There's a piece of it right there that fell right off. Okay. There you have it. There's your sauce and your beans. Now I've got to saute some other stuff on that. Okay. Then I'm going to put in my potatoes, which I've diced them up. This is the size I was talking about. See, just dice them up like that, quarter them or whatever. And I got them a little bit of salt, some water, put the whole thing right in there. You've got all your tomatoes, your green peppers, your red peppers, and your smoked tails as the beans cook for another half hour and thicken up. You gotta get the potatoes done. Those smoked tails will fall right apart. They're already falling apart. But I'm just saying. And that is how I do my beans. So then I'm just going to bring this to a boil. It'll thicken. A lot of the water will evaporate. It'll thicken. If you find that you need to thicken yours up a little bit more than, than what you come out with after doing this recipe, because everybody's taste is different, then just go ahead and mix up some cornstarch in cold water, about a couple of tablespoons maybe, and because it is a large pot, and to about half a cup of cold water. It has to be cold. And then mix that up, whisk that up really well in a bowl or measuring cup, and then pour it in there as you're stirring, and that'll thicken it up more for you. For me, I know this is going to be just right. So, because I've made this 1,000 times. So, all that's left is to just cook it down. Alright? I'll bring you back with the final look at the beans once they're cooked down. Okay, everyone. That's it. The beans are done. See that? All that goodness. Smoked turkey tails have been diced down and thrown back in there and boiled down, softened up. And that's it. That's everything to making a pot of beans, Puerto Rican style. Well, my style. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and plate it, and then I'll give you that last shot. Alright, folks, here it is. There's the bean soup. That's Hubster's plate. Look at that. Nice and rich and hearty. And then here's mine. Yeah, buddy. And we have some of my homemade Italian bread loaf, sesame seed. And then here we have the minced garlic with spices, oregano, basil, a little bit of garlic, onion powder, in olive oil to dip that bread in. So good. The Hubster's having his salad. And that's everything. I hope you all enjoyed the recipe. If you make this recipe and you make a pot of beans, post a pic. Let me see what you got. Until the next video, God bless you all. Stay well.